A shooter let go different shots at previous President Donald Trump in a death endeavor at a rally in Pennsylvania. One of the bullets struck Trump within the ear, causing him to rapidly take cover behind the platform. Ready to see inside 3 seconds, the primary line of mystery benefit defense jumped into the line of fire, making a shield around him with their bodies. Usually not a political video, the reason of usually to look at the assassination endeavor utilizing open source insight strategies and master investigation from law requirement officers. Lieutenant McMillan, a resigned law requirement officer who has broad involvement having worked 5 presidential subtle elements within the past, said this on X. They fundamentally shaped a bulletproof boundary around him. They didn't let him stand up until after they knew the shooter was down. They would have gotten communications through their radio gadgets in their earpieces affirming this. At this minute, the operators are not fair securing Trump, but they're moreover checking his body for extra wounds and surveying his condition to see in the event that he's walking or not, to see on the off chance that he can move on his claim, since when someone's adrenaline is pumping, stun can avoid them from knowing on the off chance that they have different wounds. It's really not their work to return fire instantly, and that's because in the interim, the mystery benefit counter marksman group found here on this rooftop returned fire inside minutes and eliminated the shooter here 130 meters absent with a shot to the head almost 16 seconds after the shooting to begin with begun. The final gunshot can be listened, apparently from the counter sniper team. Tim McMillan put it this way, saying, individuals have pondered how seen the counter marksman within the video not have seen the would-be professional killer earlier to him getting off a shot. This is since the zone of duty for those counter marksmen on the roof behind Trump was exceptionally likely within the amplified level. Basically, they were checking for dangers at awesome separations well beyond the roughly 50 meters the risk showed up. This is often proved by the fact that the lifted counter expert marksman should drastically drop his line of locate to reply to the shooter. 27 seconds after the primary shot was let go, we see the following line of defense reach their positions. Individuals of the mystery benefit, more intensely equipped counter-ambush group seen here in full dark uniform wearing SR-16 smothered rifles set up a security border on the range. They're looking for potential dangers that are near rope, able to see them filtering the up-close columns of the swarm from to 100 meters since they know the counter-sniper teams are scanning for dangers past 100 meters. We will see the specialists in multicam setup security confronting the rays, which shows the strategic teach of this group since not each single specialist is confronting the course of the approaching fire. There's a normal inclination in human creatures to key in on and get burrow vision on the heading where shots are coming from, but it takes teach. To set up that 360-degree security is this essential since they do not know on the off chance that there might still be another risk out there. At this point, mystery benefit SIAT groups were originally established in 1979, and usually the primary time in history that I accept they reacted to a shooting occurrence, including a previous or current president. Trump at that point told his security benefit detail to hold up. He raised his clenched hand and pumped it at the swarm. He yelled battle as the swarm chanted USA back. When inquired almost this minute, McMillan said, as for letting him posture for the photo op, there's continuously a degree of strife between the individual security detail and the political resource. One's whole mission is to secure their resource, the other's is to be political. I too saw firsthand when at that point bad habit President Biden veered off from the pre-planned way to shake people's hands amid a 2013 visit to Savannah. The operators on the ground at that point escorted Trump to a foreordained departure point, generally 50 meters to the rear of the range in a strengthened armored truck. At this point, generally 2 minutes after the primary shots rang out, he's cleared and his motorcade then sped to a clinic where he got in treatment. Swarms of extra units at that point make their way to the organize. As a result of the death endeavor, one attendee was murdered and 2 others were injured who are still in basic condition from the rounds that missed the president. When I observed the video of what happened final night, it filled me with a visceral response of appall and outrage. It made me concerned for my nation. I'm asking that some way or another able to discover a way to rise from this catastrophe more grounded than sometime recently and appear that we won't let the unhinged acts of one person tear us separated. This can be an objective picture of the scene where the rally was held at Butler Ranch's showgrounds close Butler, Pennsylvania. It's a wide-open open airfield with ground level and housetop receivability that expands over 100 meters in each heading. The shooter was able to some way or another sidestep security and overseen to urge onto this rooftop here. It's almost 420 feet or 130 meters absent from the platform and organized where Trump was giving his discourse. He was on a one-story building with a pitch that's probably about 25 feet in height. Law authorization detailed the shooter utilized an AR-style rifle recuperated at the scene. This proposes that it's most likely a 5.56 circular. On the off chance that that's the case, with a scope, 130 meters is an inconceivably simple shot for somebody who knows how to shoot. The 6 to 8 bullets showed up to miss President Trump by as it were some millimeters after he turned his head somewhat to the proper. The shooter might have pointed for the head, since it wouldn't be unheard of for a lawmaker to wear body armor amid a discourse. It looks just like the mystery benefit counter-expert marksman group were utilizing what looks to be an extraordinary form of the jolt activity Remington 700 with a silencer terminating a 300 Winchester Magnum circular with an effective variable scope. For reference, that's got considerable drawback and pinpoint exactness out to 800 meters and past. To the point of what McMillan was saying prior, typically the sort of rifle that you'd be searching for amplified extend dangers past 150 meters. This video posted on X of the counter-marksman group has 15 million views with individuals opposing this idea on whether or not the would-be professional killer took the primary shot or in the event that the counter-expert marksman group terminated to begin with. The way I see it, the security measures is that they're a layered and layered approach. The expert marksman group is one of the final lines of defense. In case they're pulling triggers, meaning a parcel of other steps have as of now gone off base, since in a perfect world, a shooter ought to never indeed have gotten inside a mile of an hoisted clear shot of the previous president. Individuals are definitely progressing to be picking separated the split-second decisions of the primary responders, and I can get it why there's a few esteem in that. But I think the more vital address is how much assets and subsidizing were they given based on the beat of their operations, and how enormous was Trump's mystery benefit workforce detail? How numerous assets did they have accessible to them? How thin were they spread? In Tim McMillan's examination, he expressed, based on constrained points of interest at this point, in my supposition, the security breakdown happened in the center level, which would likely incorporate law authorization who were assumed to be doled out to the zone close the outbuildings. History was at a fork within the street here that was decided by less than an inch in a division of a moment. This building that the shooter took up a terminating position on isn't a portion of the Butler Cultivate a Pier edge. It lies fair exterior and has a place to a diverse company called AGR Universal. They're a provider of robotization gear for glass and plastic bundling, but that may be one potential reason as to why this happened. Since it was exterior the border of the occasion, but past some trees, there's nothing between the president, just a wide open field that isolates the two. The Mystery Benefit Progress Group would have made a range weeks in development that regularly would have distinguished each single lifted potential expert sharpshooter position inside line of locate. A fast tally appears there are approximately 18 buildings that have a clear line of locate that I've checked for you on the outline. Operators would regularly either have someone posted up on each area or they would entirely control get to all these buildings on the ground days in development. I really have a few thought of how these operations work since over 10 a long time prior in 2015, President Obama gone by a put that I was working at. The mystery benefit came to our building weeks in progress for planning. They did a foundation check on me and everybody who worked there to form beyond any doubt none of us were a bunch of weirdos. The mystery benefit totally blocked off get to numerous squares in Midtown modern York City. They indeed stopped a push of rubbish trucks from the city all around the building to anticipate vehicle-borne IEDs from driving into or hammering through the edge checkpoints. They saved no cost. They did numerous bomb clears in development and checked to guarantee the building was empty the night sometime recently. This is often called a sterilizing operation where they do these sorts of clean clears. Operators were exhaustive and nitty-gritty. Be that as it may, it's conceivable that the previous president was not allowed the same estimate security benefit for his detail or security financing. My understanding is that previous President Trump would have had an expanded security detail accessible to him as before long as he authoritatively got to be the Republican chosen one this week. Data is still coming out, and we still have a parcel to memorize within the coming days and weeks, but regularly those buildings, particularly ones that are that close in vicinity, would have had get to limited. Typically why this observer account is all the more concerning. We take a note a fellow slithering, army style, bear slithering up the roof of the building adjacent to us, 50 feet absent from us. So we're standing there, we're indicating at the fellow slithering up the roof, and he had a weapon, right? He had a rifle. We might clearly see him with a rifle completely. There were thousands of individuals at this occasion though, and this early declaration is still being confirmed. The House Oversight Committee has, as of now, called on Mystery Benefit Executive Kimberly Cheel to affirm to Congress around what went off base. Is this a failure of security? Truly, at this point, we're not getting to make that evaluation. Things got to happen investigatively to create those judgments of what, on the off chance that any disappointments there were. The Office of Country Security in their 2024 appraisal recognized a few rising dangers interior of America this year, counting remote and household psychological warfare and political radicalism. The report states, over the past year, both household savage radicals and homegrown rough radicals motivated by outside fear-monger organizations have locked in savagery in response to social political events, motivated by a blend of trick hypotheses, personalized grievances, and persevering racial, ethnic, religious, and anti-government philosophies frequently shared online. To begin with, I was stunned that this indeed happened in our nation. It would be the primary time a U.S. president or presidential candidate was harmed in an endeavored death since President Ronald Reagan was shot in 1981. But possibly I shouldn't have been that astounded. Agreeing to this modern New York Times across the nation survey, 10% of those overviewed said that the utilize of drive is advocated to anticipate Donald Trump from getting to be president. A third of those who gave that reply moreover said they claimed weapons. That's why the following major address will be, what was the shooter's rationale? There are numerous diverse potential inspirations as we'd as of now seen them play out around the world in later death endeavors. The Join Together States Insights organization as of late made a difference thwart a Russian plot to kill the CEO of the German company Rheinmetall, which is giving big guns and vehicles utilized against Russia. There was moreover a death endeavor against the Slovak prime served for political purposes. The FBI, who's heading up the examination, discharged information that the shooter could be a 20-year-old white male from Pennsylvania. I'm not progressing to say his title freely on this stage since I do not need to donate disgust or reputation to a person like that, but finding out the motive for law requirement authorities will be an imperative step to making beyond any doubt there aren't extra dangers. In the event that it does turn out to be politically spurred, it may be a displeased Republican or Democrat, which would have an effect on where this goes from here. I unquestionably ought to not have been that stunned after seeing things like this. This modern New York City, dramatic bunch Shakespeare within the stop doing a version of President Trump getting wounded to passing in a modern-day adaptation of Julius Caesar, whereas he was in office. It wouldn't indeed be the primary politically persuaded death endeavor on Trump. In 2016, somebody attempted to drag a secret benefit agent's benefit gun on Trump, but he was stopped and captured. Typically exasperating to me, and I kind of required to urge this off my chest. I needed to say something about this so that I feel like it's not fair bottled up interior, and I think a few other individuals ideally can get it where I'm coming from. This can be not a politically propelled video. I trust I given a few profitable data or knowledge. Be beyond any doubt to take after Tim McMillan on Twitter. He's a master. He's the fellow to go to on this theme.